Welcome to the Committed Softball Podcast, where we dive deep into the recruiting journey of some of the most talented young athletes. I'm your host, Mike Overton, and today we have an incredible guest joining us. She is a 2025 Boise State University softball commit. That's right, another Boise State commit on the show. Standout player from the Firecracker Select Travel Ball Organization. I believe it's Firecracker Select. Rico Brashear, correct?
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
and a shining example of hard work and determination. Please help me welcome Charlie Duran. Charlie, we're excited to have you share your journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So, my journey, I guess when I committed, it was later than like the most common commitments. So,
Okay.
I joined actually before FC Select, it was just Tony's team, Tony
Okay.
Rico's team. So, I joined Tony Rico's team when I was a sophomore.
Hey, so again, like I said, we talked a little bit about Firecracker, of course, the great Tony Rico, probably the godfather of softball around here. Everybody knows
Yeah.
the Firecracker organization. But take us back a little bit before the Firecrackers, before high
Oh,
school. For most of us, we probably started 5, 6, 7 years old. Where did your journey start? How old were you?
I was about 6 or 7, and I was the type of girl that was like, I'm never gonna pitch. Like, I'm not gonna pitch. But I was also the player that was like, I want to be better than everyone. So I started when I was like 6 or 7, and then my mom put me into the sport, and I was like a really good hitter, and I played like corners because I was like stronger than a lot of the girls.
Okay.
And I started pitching, I think in 10U, but it
Okay.
was like nothing serious. It was just with my friends, and it was like kind of like a competition.
Hmm.
And then I say 10 year, 12 year, I started travel ball, and my first travel ball team was the Ohana Tigers. Um, and
When
then
did
after,
you so we talk about, especially we talked to a lot of pitchers, and a lot of pitchers try to hit forever, and eventually they have to give up the hitting part. Not all of them, but most of them have to. When did you actually give up the hitting?
I think I gave up the hitting for good in 14U
Okay.
because I played for Katie Stith, and then I kind of got the hint that like if I'm not hitting home runs or if I'm not hitting like bombs like every at bat and I'm not standing out, then I just kind of gave it up, and I kind of changed my perspective as in like it's okay if I don't hit because then I can just focus on one thing and master my craft in pitching, and I don't have to like balance out two things. So in a way, I was just like, you know what, like I'm okay, like I have pitching, and I kind of like it better that way because then I just focus all on pitching even when
Yeah.
I work out. So
No, that's interesting to hear about. I guess about a month ago, and we've already aired the podcast. We got to sit down with Kat Osterman, and she said the same thing. She was telling us how her dad only let her pitch when she did all her extra work, put in all the hours on her own, and her reward were her pitching lessons. But at the same time, she would go to hit every week, and she ended up having to tell dad, she's like, Dad, I don't even work on hitting. I don't do that. You make me take these lessons, and I don't even hit. And so she actually wanted to put the bat away to focus on the pitching. And she told about how even though she hit in high school, and I'm sure you still hit in high school, when she focused on the pitching, it took off even more. I mean, obviously she was always dominant, but just for a pitcher to focus 100% of their energy on that side of the game,
mhm.
it really helps you take off sometimes.
Mhm. I think even especially because I don't hit now, but when I'm in high school, like I don't even like think about it. So I just go up there. I'm like, you know what? Like I literally just I'm just swinging for fun. So like I
That's
actually hit pretty good in high school. Like my freshman year, like I like got like honor roll mention. I had like a 300 bat. I don't know. I don't even know how I did that. Like, everyone's like, "How do you hit the ball?" I'm like, I don't know. Like you just like can't think about it as much as you really do. But like I guess it's the same with pitching as well, like
yeah,
thinking and the mental side of it. But
yeah.
like most definitely, like when I go to the facility in Anaheim where Tony works, like it's just all pitching, and like even the mental side is just all pitching. But
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
Absolutely. It's interesting though, because like I said, most of the high level players like you are yourself, you're just grinding so much, and the
Mhm.
practices are tough, the workouts are tough. Your competition is so tough. When you go to high school, it is easy, even when
I
you're
know.
out of your comfort zone. I tease some of my travel girls because they're playing right field or they're playing first base, and they're all shortstops on their high school team. It's
Mhm.
like, who plays shortstop? Six of our girls play shortstop for their high school.
Mhm.
So it's pretty impressive to see that high level, to get to go play high school and have fun and try something new.
Yeah, like the girls on my high school team, like they're like, Charlie, you're a really good hitter. I'm like, I don't think so. Or like they make me go play outfield. I'm like, I honestly like don't know what I'm doing. So like I'm sorry, but
That's
I don't
funny.
know.
That's
Yeah.
so we talked a lot about softball, and I think before we actually started recording, we talked a little bit about high school. Was it Esperanza? Is that where you said you went?
Yes.
Esperanza
Esperanza.
High School. Now, did you go there all 4 years, or have you transferred
Yes,
there?
I've been there all 4 years, so I played with some great players like Taylor Shoemaker,
Oh,
and then my freshman year I played with Brooke Perez. She's at UC Riverside,
okay.
and then Sabrina Seaton. She's at St. John's. And then like other great players.
It's interesting, and like some of the girls that I coach, we have a couple girls that are on like powerhouse teams where we know, they're going to be in CIF, they're going to do that, they have high level coaching. But then we have some girls that, their high school coaches, their history teacher or their PE teacher, and they really don't know much about it, and they're the only
Mhm.
club player on the team, and it's really funny to see the difference. We had a girl that she's like an outfield for us, and decent arm. Decent arm, good hitter, and she was like, "Coach, I'm pitching 3 games this week." We're like, "What?" We didn't even know she was a pitcher, but for her high
Mhm.
school, she's the dominant
It's
pitcher, so that's really cool.
Speaking of that, one of my players on my travel ball team, her name's Mia. She's a really good hitter, like insane. She's going to Utah. But
Okay,
like a year ago, she's like, I actually just pitched in like one of our games. I'm like,
yeah,
and then like it was just all a joke. But like it's just funny to like even my friend on my high school team, like she does not pitch. Like she doesn't even play softball, like travel softball. She just plays high school.
yeah,
But like today we were throwing live and she's like, you know what, coach, like let me pitch. So she pitches for fun and she actually like does really good, but it's just like funny to me. I'm like, no way, like
yeah.
absolutely not. But
It's interesting. It's interesting. So that's really cool. Did you play any other sports growing up, or has it always been softball?
I played soccer and I was a goalie and I ended up really liking it, but my mom was just like, no, like you're playing softball. But overall, I like softball more. So, and I also played, not play, but I did taekwondo.
Okay,
So my mom was all about like the defense moves and like, like knowing how to
yeah,
protect yourself. So I have my black belt in that, but like I got that like when I was like 8, so like I'm not sure if that's
no.
really a cool thing, but yeah.
Let's start talking about Boise State. When did you actually, even before Boise State, when did you start thinking about playing at the college level? When was that a possibility?
I think it's always been a dream for me and I always knew that I could do it, but it's always been in the books like when I was just younger, like when I first started playing travel ball, when I first started taking the sport seriously, and when I first started like finding a love and a passion for it. So yeah, and to be honest, like I would never would have thought that I would end up at Boise, but it was just one of those places and like the right school, right time. When I met the coaches, when I went to the campus, like everything about it, like I love it. So yeah.
Are you a fan of the bluegrass? The big bluegrass
Yes,
football
like
field?
my like the blue sold me. Like I just love blue. I always loved blue. Even like Nike, like I was
Yeah,
like, Mom, like I love it here. Like come on. Like it
that's
was just a
cool.
deal breaker.
That's so
So
now I've heard something. I don't know if it's true or not. I asked Cody a little while ago when we interviewed her. I heard on that bluegrass that birds think it's a lake and
that's what my mom said, but it's
oh
not true. It's not.
no. The,
No, my mom like asked the coaches and like
okay.
asked other people, but they said like, "Where'd you hear that from?" Like that's not true, but it would make sense because but
Hmm.
would a bird really do that? Like I don't
Well,
know.
so that's interesting. So just like your mom, like I said, we heard that. Like I said, that was kind of like when they first painted it blue. We heard that, and then so I don't know what they did, and maybe when they painted the lines, but like if you heard it from the coach, they probably know better than we do.
I
So
mean, I hope so. Like, I don't plan on going on the field during conditioning and seeing a dead bird. So,
the bird, you have to dodge birds. So all right,
so
so that is a myth busted. So okay, we're gonna go with the coach. That's funny. So
yes.
besides the bluegrass and obviously the coaches and everything, what are some other things about Boise? Did you get a chance to when you went recruiting? Did you get a chance to go around town, visit any restaurants?
Yes. So one of the first things that caught my eye was just like how safe like the campus but the city like really was and how
Mm,
clean everything was. It just felt like a community. Like I'm a big food eater.
okay.
So when we went to the restaurants, like I was like, oh, the food here is so good. Like it's like quality food, like healthy food, and like I was just like having the time of my life, and the coaches like took me to like multiple restaurants, and just getting to know the coaches and their personalities, like it felt very welcome, and they were very nice to me as I got to know them. And the campus too is beautiful. I'm a very big like nature girl, so like the
Okay.
trees, the river like around the campus, like everything about that, like I just loved everything. I wasn't expecting to love it like at all, cuz like I'm used to living like in the city, I guess, or like I just love the city, but I was like, "Mom, I don't know. Like we'll see." But I came in the visit like very open-minded because I was also like very excited.
Okay.
But overall like I just loved everything. Like yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, were you one? Did you commit during your recruiting trip, or did you have to go home and think about it? How did that go?
Well, I definitely went home and okay, so when I was there and like we sat down and then when the visit was over, I was like, okay, like I kind of have a decision in my mind, but I also want to wait. I want to give it time. I want to sleep on it. So I went home, I slept on it, and then the next day I called my two coaches. So I called Coach Tony, obviously,
Mhm,
to like let him know where my head was at, and I wanted to like let him know because he's also part of this journey with me. And then I
mhm.
called my pitching coach, Coach Holly. She's
Okay.
also a coach on our team, and he basically told me like seal the deal, like if you love it, you love it, like all this stuff. And I was like, you're right. Like, what am I waiting for? Like, it meets all my boxes. Um, yeah, and even my mom loved it too. Like, my mom was like saying like she feels good knowing she's gonna like let her daughter go to college somewhere that's like safe, clean, and she actually wants to move out there too. Like my whole
Eh,
family wants to move out there. Like literally my grandparents, my mom and dad. So we'll see about that. But
that's the dream. I tell you, because like I said, I've got like I said, daughter your age, and then one 2 years behind her, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll wait for the baby to go somewhere. But if they're at the same school, we might have to do it. So I wouldn't move too close. I wouldn't move too close to smother. But
yeah,
so we don't think about, or maybe you guys don't think about it all the time. But your softball journey is also your parents' softball journey, and is also your grandparents' softball journey. And even when me and my wife talk, we don't know what we're gonna do when the when my youngest goes to college. Because like, okay, every Saturday and Sunday we're either at a tournament or we're on
yes,
a trip or we're doing something softball related. And so it's like, man, we're gonna have to find a new hobby. But the dream is to hold on as long as we can. So hopefully we can get a couple years of college, softball as well. And it's cool.
yeah. My parents always say like when you go to college, we're gonna be so rich. Like you don't understand like all this stuff like about like money and like, but they just joke about it because they know. But they always say that like I'm always so busy, but
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
softball.
Well, that's the joke too. I always tell people, I say, "Well, I need a scholarship just to break even, because all the money that goes into it, that
Yeah.
scholarship barely raises it." But you know what? Um, and I'm sure your parents have kind of shared it with your coach or somebody too. Like I said, we love it. We'd rather spend the money on you guys and your dream than on something for us, because, like I said, the softball, the goal is obviously playing at a college and all that stuff too. But all the stuff that you learn along the way about being a leader and teamwork and being independent. I mean, that's the investment. Yeah, it's a lot
Hmm.
of money for softball, but the investment is you as a young lady. And so, it's a lot of money, yeah, but it's money well spent. So I'm just gonna
I
go ahead and
agree.
speak for your parents on that one.
Yes, so they say the same thing actually,
Yeah,
and the education part of it too that comes
absolutely.
along with it. So
Absolutely. So we're talking about the good part because we're always going to celebrate, but most times there's struggle that goes along with it. Was there a particular time where you struggle where either the pitches weren't working, or we just, I won't say fall out of love, because softball's a rocky relationship. Most girls I
mhm.
talk to love it more sometimes than they don't. And but what were some of the challenges that you had along the way?
So some of the challenges I had as a pitcher was, I'd say, just my mental side of it. So overall, my confidence, and for me, like I'm like a bulldog, like I'm such a perfectionist and I always want to do good and etc. So whenever I did do bad, it was like I was like basing myself off of my outcomes, which was hard. So like that kind of came into like a routine. So like every time I did play, I was like always focusing on the outcomes, never the process, like never pitch
Mm,
by pitch, never inning by inning. So that was one thing that I really had to work on. But overall, like the hardest time I had with softball was definitely my sophomore year, my
mm,
first year on Tony's team, because I was the youngest.
mm,
I was the slowest, I was the weakest, and mentally I was just like gone. Like I just kept failing every week, every time, and like it got to a point where I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm in this hole, like I'm so deep into this hole, like I can't get out mentally. I just lost confidence. Um, it was just, and even like the teammates my age, like they were going through it as well, but
Hmm.
like I was just a pitcher, like I was a baby, like they were playing shortstop, they were playing third base, like
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I had it definitely the hardest.
Hmm.
Um, so actually my Coach Tony and Coach Holly, they like created this pitching class, and it's called, have you heard of the range?
I have. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started going there like before my sophomore year, but that's where I kind of like I haven't mastered my mindset yet, but like getting better at it. So like I would go every week, and I'm actually an instructor there. So like I instruct the little kids.
Oh,
So and the way that like helped me with my mindset is pretty much like teaching the class, helping out with the class, instructing the little girls. So during during the week I would like help out with the class, and like sometimes he would ask me for my opinion, like whatever the topic was about, like pitching or like power hitters or like how to like gain your confidence. So it kind of like distracted me like away from like struggling, I guess.
yeah.
And like when I saw these like kids younger than me like throwing and like having fun, I kind of used them as an example.
But
Hmm.
that's where the mental toughness comes into it. And so, I thank you for that because trust me, I try to tell the girls that I work with right now, I said, everybody goes through it.
Oh
Everybody goes
yes.
through it. And, just focusing on yourself and, everybody was the youngest at one time, but that shows the confidence that Tony and your other coaches had in you. And,
Hmm.
it paid off. They saw something even before you saw it. So that's really cool.
No, yeah, that's what I always told myself. But I'm actually writing an essay right now about mental toughness. It's like an informative essay, and he was like, write about whatever you want to write about. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna write about mental toughness. Like, I just want to learn more about it, but also like show my teacher what I've learned about it from the sport.
What are you most excited about next year at Boise State?
Um, uh, I'm most excited for like to be honest, like literally everything. Just like meeting the girls and the hard I'm a very hard worker, so I guess like all the work that comes with like I'm excited to like waking up at 5 a.m. and like going to the workouts. I'm excited for like the preseason, the football games, I guess just like meeting like my future family.
Hey man, it's about the city, it's about the teammates, it's about the environment. And for most young ladies, softball's going to end, after college. There's a few that
Yeah.
go on, but you're meeting your family. You're probably going to meet your husband. You're probably going to be meeting your
Hey.
yeah, you're probably going to be meeting your best friends forever. And so
Yeah.
all of that stuff is super important. And so that's good
Yeah.
that you have that
I think
perspective.
I think for me, the one thing that I wanted when I was getting recruited was I wanted a coach that valued me as a pitcher, because
Hmm.
I'm not the pitcher that's gonna throw the ball like blasted. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna throw it through you. I don't throw 70. I don't throw high 60s. So for me, it was just like, who values me? Who values my spin? Who
Hmm.
values like the way like I command my ball, the presence on my mound. So for me, when Coach Schultz um told me like what he saw in me and like how I command the ball, like it just like it reminded me a lot of Tony. Like because he always told me like you always want a coach that valued you because you're different, like etc. So I just like really took that to heart, and that was one thing that I wanted, and I'm very grateful that I have it.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. No, it sounds like you have a great head on your shoulder. You have some great mentors and on your way to big things at Boise State. So that's really cool.
Hmm.
So rewinding a little bit, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We are in senior year. This is the time of high school that really should be the most fun. Um,
Hmm.
Homecoming's probably came and gone already.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
missed my Hoko. I
that's
was at
right.
my visit.
Were you at Boise State?
Yeah,
Oh, you missed it.
but like, what?
No, I'm saying it's cool. I say you still got prom coming up. You still
Oh
got
yeah,
grad night and all that.
I'm not really a big fan of like school dances, and I would much rather be at Boise because the football game was really fun, and I like a big community. So when I saw the tailgating and everyone, I was like, oh, like I want to be here already. Like I'm excited. Like let's go. Like so, I actually forgot about my Hoko. Like anyways.
So what are you looking for in high school? Are we just ready to get out of there? Are we looking for
In high
graduation?
school, I guess just like soaking in like the moment. Like actually today I was talking about I'm like this is like I'm almost done with senior year. Like I have like 6 more months left. So like my biggest goal is just to like have fun and like especially with like high school softball, like just keep the game simple. Like slow down the game. Like just do your best. Like every time you pitch, like just give it all. Like and I'm slowly like understanding that like this is gonna end soon. Like I'm gonna graduate soon. Like I'm gonna go to college soon. So like it's just making me feel more like grateful, I guess, and like more positive. Like in a way, it's kind of like bittersweet. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. All right, so we're doing some kind of reflecting time, reflecting on kind of what you've been up to in your career. Just looking back, the successes obviously came. You're going to a place you love. Is there anything you would have done differently along your way, whether it's the recruiting or playing, anything you do differently?
Definitely trust in the process more and trust in myself for
Okay,
sure. Yeah. And
okay.
trust in like Coach Tony, like whatever he said to me.
So what I want to do right now, we've got a couple more questions and we're gonna let you go. I was doing a segment called Rapid Fire where I just fire questions at you to get to know you. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit because sometimes it's the most interesting stuff, but these are all get to know you questions. And my first question for you, what is a unique talent that you have that nobody knows about?
Well, I don't really have anything.
And that's what. See, I was expecting you to start singing a song or
Oh
juggling
no,
or
I'm the worst singer like you could ever like I'm horrible. Like my mom like will look at me and be like, please stop. Like just please
something.
stop.
That's hilarious. Okay, tell me this. What do you prefer, coffee or tea?
Tea. But
Tea.
I'm a very big like refresher girl. So like at Starbucks, like I'm sure your daughters like get like the strawberry acai
Yep.
refreshers or like
We always
yes.
we gotta stop by before
Before
the
game
game.
days,
Gotta
like
have it,
literally,
gotta
it's
have it.
so delicious. Like I can't. That's
Nice,
like something I'm obsessed with, but
nice. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm actually both because before school, I prefer working out before school because I'm always so busy after. So like I wake up at like 6 a.m. before school and I work out with my trainer. But like when I don't have to wake up early, like on a Saturday or Sunday, or like if I'm off with softball, like I like staying out sometimes, like being spontaneous with my friends, like, just doing whatever. But I think I'm a good balance of both.
Nice, nice. Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Movie Sandlot for sure, or like
Oh,
something romantic like
classic.
The Notebook. Yeah, classic for sure.
Oh,
Basic.
wow.
Um, TV show Friends. I like On
Nice.
My Block. It's on
Okay,
Netflix. Yeah, I
okay.
like the sass with it. It's pretty
Dude,
funny.
when COVID hit, man, I was sleeping on Netflix, and when COVID hit, man, I started catching up, start binging on all the series, and I was like, "Oh
It's
my."
so
So
funny.
I can't watch regular TV now because it's like, nope, I'll just wait for the whole season and I'll
Mm-hmm.
just watch 10
No,
episodes.
because like my parents literally took out my cable. They're like, "You don't even watch TV. Like all you do is watch Netflix." I'm like, yeah, but like I still like TV." But long story short, no cable, so I just had Netflix.
I still well I kind of have cable. I've got something. I've got channels. But yeah, I still rock the Netflix and the
Mhm.
series. That's more than anything else. Have you ever been to a live concert?
Yes, like I love live concerts. So I've been to like Drake. That was my best one. Like I begged
Okay.
my mom for those tickets. I
Nice.
went to Bruno Mars. I've been to Adele. I'm not sure if you know him, but like his name's YG. He's a rapper, but it was
Okay.
just like a very last minute thing.
Okay. What was your favorite? Was it the Drake?
Yeah, like I'm just basic. I don't know. Like I've always like been obsessed with Drake even when I was younger. Like my brother put me on. I have an older brother, so
Okay.
I'd be in my car seat. I'd be like, Kiki, you look-" like I just like I like
Oh, the singing voice came out. The singing
I'm a
voice.
Drake stan forever, no matter
That's
what.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about your favorite place you've ever traveled?
I'd say New York for sure. I went last
Oh,
year during Christmas, so I went to like Rockefeller, Times Square, and I was literally obsessed. Like I'm actually begging my mom for me to go back this year, but I'm not because like
yeah,
I'm going to like Colorado and Indiana for softball,
yeah.
so it's a lot of money.
No, it's crazy. No, I did that too. I went to New York for the first time about 2 years ago, and I was there for 4 days, and we went nonstop, and we didn't see everything. I mean, we did
Hmm.
Central Park and Statue of Liberty and 9/11, and we went to Harlem and saw the Apollo, and we went to Yankee Stadium. And
Hmm.
it's still, and then we left, and it's like. "Oh, man, I missed this," but and it's so cool because all these things you've seen on TV, and I'm like, "Wow, that's Central Park right there." It's so
Yeah,
cool.
Central Park was so fun.
It's cool.
I liked walking, like, transporting everywhere, that was just so fun to me, and, like, I was, like, walking, like, 7 miles a day, like, I was like, "Okay, like, I'm feeling a little, like, fit right now, like, I could eat a pizza for
Ah.
dinner."
Oh, New York pizza's the best.
Yes.
The
Oh, I
best.
went to the Mets not the Mets game, the basketball game?
It's the one right in Manhattan, it's the Knicks. The Nets are, like, in Brooklyn, you have to
Okay,
do
I went
the
to Knicks. I went
Okay,
yeah, the
nice.
times what is it, Madison Square or
Madison
something?
Square Garden, yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
mecca
was
of
pretty cool.
basketball. That's really cool. So you did it all. Yeah, New York is definitely, one of my favorites. How about a place that you've never been but you wanna go?
I definitely would wanna go to, like, Bora Bora or, like, somewhere, like, tropically.
Ooh,
It's
something
always been on my
sunny.
bucket list.
Very
So
nice, very nice, very
or,
cool.
like, Italy or Greece, but, you
Okay,
know.
well, you got plenty of time. Like I said, like I said, with travel ball, that's the one cool thing I love. We get to visit all these towns we never been. Like I said, I always book an extra day because
Mhm.
if I'm in Tennessee, well, I've got to go to Nashville and I've got
Yeah,
to go to
I
thing and
that's my bucket list too, but when
oh,
I went to Indiana last year for Alliance,
hmm
so me and my mom drove to Chicago, like, 2 times. We went to go watch the, A Athletes Unlimited,
okay,
and then we just went one time with my teammate, and we went to, like, the O Block, and, like, we just,
yeah.
like,
Oh, that's
drove
funny.
by. Yeah.
You didn't get out the car, did you?
Huh? Oh,
You didn't
no. We were just, like my teammate was like, "Let's get out of here." But my mom and me, like, listened to King Von, like, the rapper, so we were, like, very
get.
interested.
That's hilarious. I did not take you as the King Von type, but that is hilarious. Yeah, but I've heard funny stories about O Block, and I always ask, "You get out the car?" No? Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because one of our pitchers on our team, she's from Illinois,
Mhm.
so I told her, I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, I went to the O Block before." She's like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, It's not that bad, like, it's just for, like, fun times."
Yeah, no, so well, you know, it's a little I mean, obviously, because now it's a little more popular,
Mhm.
and so it's not too bad in the daytime,
Yeah. It
but yeah,
was very, like it was I was, like out looking out the window, I was like, "Okay," like
that's funny. That's
yeah.
hilarious. All right, so my last question, and like I said, we went way over our time, but this has been absolutely fabulous. Talk about somebody or some people that's inspired you, whether it's either softball or family or a teacher. What's somebody that's inspired you along your journey?
Um, I feel like my most recent inspiration from, like, college softball would be Kaylin Terry.
Okay.
Like, watching her last year just dominate, absolute dominate as a freshman, not even as a freshman, like, I think when I think of a powerful pitcher, I think of, like, a tall, like, unit, like Nyjah Kennedy.
Yeah.
So for her to, like, not be small, but, like, just
Yeah.
be different overall, like,
Mhm.
I kinda use that as, like, inspiration for me because I'm not the biggest in the box, so
Yeah.
it
How
was
tall
pretty
are you?
cool watching her. I'm 5'7",
Okay,
so
that's good
it's
size.
not bad, but, like, sometimes, like, I get told I'm, like, a little smaller, but, like, when I go to school, I'm, like, the biggest girl at
Yeah.
school, and then I go to softball and everyone's, like, literally, like, 20 inches taller than me, so
It's crazy. So my youngest one, my older daughter's only like 5'5", but my younger daughter is like 5'8", and the doctor said maybe a couple more. She's a lefty.
Mhm.
So we're like, me and mom are praying, let's go 5'10" lefty, let's go. She's a pitcher. And so, but she doesn't want to be tall. I was like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, you
No,
better
like
embrace it. You better
yeah,
embrace
like,
it.
I would love to be taller, but I'm kinda stuck where I am, but it's fine, but
That's a good height, though. That's a good now we do see some girls that are 6'2", 6'3". It's like, okay, it's good as long as you're playing sports, but other
yes.
than that, it's not. But I'm like, but I'm. It's funny. My daughter, she'll be happy if she's done. She's 5'8". She'd be happy if she's done. Me and mom are like 2 more inches. Give me 5'10". Give me 5'10".
Yeah, it's always better for the recruiting.
Absolutely. And it's funny too. She takes pictures and she's kind of hunched over. I'm like, if you don't stand up straight, it shows.
Like, that's how I was when I was younger, but now, like, I'm the one on my tippy toes. I'm like, "Alright, let me get taller than you real quick," like
That's funny. That's awesome. So, all right.
yeah.
Well, that is definitely my time, and this has been fun. I'm definitely a new fan, so I'm going to continue following you and Firecracker Select. I do know you have a Boise State teammate. Tell her to holler at
Yes.
us.
Lola,
Mo-
I'll
and
let
then-
her know this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then at Boise State, don't be surprised. I got people up there, so you never know when I'm going to pop up.
Yeah, that'd be cool if I saw you.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Charlie. It's been
Thank you
fun.
so much, I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.